Earth. From the towering peaks of Himalayas to pristine beaches of Caribbean, Earth is home to an endless array of stunning landscape and awe-inspiring places. Join us as they embark on journey to explore some of the most beautiful destinations our world has to offer. So get ready to thrilling adventures, heart-stopping moments, and unforgettable experience as we traverse continents and dive into the wonders of nature.
You can see the beautiful view of Kavaputi.
Hello my fellow
crater.
travelers.
See the crater.
Welcome back to my new blog. In this video you are going to see something natural beauty of Indonesia. Till now I explored city life of Jakarta and Bandung. But in last video you have already seen Lembang, where I went a food street market, floating market. You can see in my past videos, or you can check out on the I section or in description. I will put that link in description. So right now I'm in Bandung and I booked all the trips from getyourguide.com. You can book Kavaputi trip from getyourguide.com. I will put link in the description how you can book. So let's start. I wake up early in the morning because when you go to Kavaputi you have to wake up early at 7 because you have to leave till 9 because after that the sun will start burning, so you need to start travel early in the morning, and after that also you will get so much traffic. So after getting my trip booked by Get Your Guide, I get the guide, and the guide was girl and she took me to Kavaputi. So let's start this journey. So I will show you the places around traveling to Kavaputi. You can travel to Kavaputi by motorbike, grab, car, whatever. The distance, like Kavaputi is the distance from Bandung to Kavaputi is like 35.5 miles. It's like 57 kilometer, almost 60 kilometer, and which will take like 2 hours from Bandung. And if you're stuck in traffic, then it will take you 2.5 hours and or 3 hours. So start your journey from Bandung, book your trip from Get Your Guide. I just share the link in the description. If you book your trip from Get Your Guide, you don't need to worry about taxi or grab bike. So just book your Kavaputi trip from getyourguide.com.
Hello everyone, my name is Santosh and you are watching Satisfied Traveler, and welcome to brand new video. In this video you will see the Kavaputi volcanic crater in Bandung, and I am going there by motorbike. You can hire Grab and Grab taxi to travel to Kavaputi. See, I have my clothes for laundry, and I am also waiting for the open.
So guys, I wake up early in the morning for Kavaputi. So I thought that why not I get my clothes in the laundry. So I just waiting outside and waiting for opening of the shop, which will open at 7. So after that then I will move forward to Kavaputi. So let's go and laundry, and you can see how much price in Indonesia for laundry in Bandung.
Volcanic crater Kavaputi, which is nearby Chuide. And Chuide is also famous for tea gardens. There I can
So if you don't know about Kavaputi, so guys, if you don't know about Kavaputi, so I'm going to tell you. Kavaputi is a volcanic crater, and this is nearby Chuide, and Chuide where is a famous tea garden. So I think. So guys, here I am going to bankrupt today, and you can see so many clothes here,
Is it
like
turn on? How much
almost 2.5 kg. They charge for 3 kg. If yeah, so see they how much they charge. Look, look, this girl, this beautiful girl is like making my bill. See how much she asks.
Is around 36,000.
Okay. ये 3 किलो से कम है बट 1 किलो से ज़्यादा है तो you pay 36,000
4.
4 p.m. Okay, thank you.
You
I will get my laundry at 4 p.m. So it's fast service and it's cheap. When I will
तो
return
guys
from
मैंने अपना
then I will get that.
I given my clothes into the laundry. They charged me 36,000 Indonesian rupiah, which is 180 rupees Indian rupees, and it's not so costly. It's how much it cost me for
2 million.
Kavaputi.
I don't know. How much? Do you want to check on the breakfast?
Yeah. Or we can do the breakfast on the way.
Yeah, but we should buy the breakfast first and we can eat on the way.
No,
Better for you?
no, we can. I think we can go there vendor, get
we'll
the
find out.
few experience.
Okay.
So I should try.
No, I'm driving.
Okay. How long?
I don't know.
When you're tired. Then guys, I get my Grab. Now I'm going to Kavaputi, and this Grab is so costly. 2 million.
No, because it's special trip.
So let's now enjoy with me the ride to Kavaputi, and you will get more experience and beautiful views during the journey. You will also see the tea garden in Chuide. Kavaputi का distance अब 36 किलोमीटर रह गया है और ऊपर में जो टाइम है वो दिखा रहा है 1 hour 10 minutes. तो I think 1 hour 30 minutes में हम लोग कावापुती पहुँच जाएंगे. Then everyone, this is my first stop. Here I Indomart up here for breakfast and something snacks. This is so disgusting. When I do this, maza aaya. और जो दिखा
should use the like this the moment of this way. Oh, we need to use this one. Where you want to parking there? I can. I will lock my motorcycle.
I can.
No, you can't.
Maaf untuk helmnya di strip di pendukuran di sebelah sana ya. Iya.
With this.
Yeah, it's heavy.
I will bring.
Okay, I bring my book because today I have class.
You will study here. Or maybe we can. Hello everyone, then we arrived Kavaputi. Right now I am in Kavaputi. You can see, and I was feeling cold when I was driving. You have to buy tickets for 70,000 per person if you are Indonesian, and if you are foreigner I think you have to pay more, but I am with my Indonesian friend, so give me the ticket and I will okay, then we are 2 people, so we are paying 56,000 Indonesian rupees for 2 people. Okay, if you come here, so you should aware you have to pay like 70,000. So let's go. Now we are going to Kavaputi.
A few moments later.
हेलो गाइस, तो मैं पहुंच गया हूं कावापुती। ये यहाँ से मुझे लग रहा है कि ये एंट्री पॉइंट, एंड यहाँ पे सारा कार पार्किंग वगैरह। आप पर्सनल कार से भी आ सकते हो, और हमने ये बुक किया। और 127,000 means 127,000 rupees.
You wrong information. The 70,000 just only for local tourists.
No, but in the
Yeah, both.
yeah,
But it's for the local tourists. Actually, for the
It's-
foreigner, it's twice.
actually the 70,000 जो है वो for I think for local tourist. So guys, यहाँ पे लोकल टूरिस्ट का जो मतलब जो इंडोनेशिया से आते हैं, तो उसका प्राइस 70,000 है पर हेड. ओके, इफ़ यू आर फॉरेनर and you outside from Indonesia, you have to pay like double, 1,40,000 for each, or maybe more, because I was with local, so I did not know what the price of foreigner. So it's good to be here, and weather is also nice. Now I am going to toilet because I feel you can see the view. तो गाइज मैं टॉयलेट कर लिया। और इंडोनेशिया में मैंने एक चीज़ ये देखा है कि हर जगह कहीं भी अगर मतलब टॉयलेट है और रेस्टोरेंट है, वहाँ पे प्रे करने के लिए जो स्पेस है वो डिफरेंट स्पेस ज़रूर रहता है प्रे करने के लिए। तो ये काफ़ी अच्छी बात है, लोगों को रोड पे नहीं आना पड़ता। तो ये मुस्लिम कंट्री है, तो यहाँ पे प्रे करने के लिए डिफरेंट स्पेस है। एंड यहाँ पे वेदर काफ़ी अच्छा है और काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग। यू कैन एंजॉय द व्यू। Now I taken the picture here, you can see on my Instagram. Now I am going there, the way from there. So I am going from there to there. So तो यहाँ से उधर रास्ता है, वहाँ फ्लैग के पास जाना है और वहाँ से कुछ ब्यूटीफुल शॉट्स पिक्चर्स लेने हैं। Go there. Oh yeah, I can.
Yeah, but you need to showing your ticket if you want to use the bridge.
Oh.
My mom.
Ticket counter is here, which I shown you that on the top for the view on the top. For that I have to pay here 25,000 same like there, but this is worth it. I will get the view from top, so that yeah. I think we almost reach. See guys, I am on the top of crater. You can see the beautiful crater from here. I was there taking picture, and that thing between the crater, and that was also chargeable, but it's okay. I get this view. I am so happy for this view. The Indonesia flag is here, and the beautiful mountain. So guys, let's talk about some history about the Kawah Putih. This Kawah Putih crater,
Kawah Putih, also known as White Crater, is a volcanic crater lake located in Ciudad, West Java, Indonesia, formed from the eruption of Mount Patuha. This stunning natural wonder is renowned for its striking turquoise colored water and the surrounding landscape tinged with white due to high concentration of sulfur in the soil. So what you are saying, this is sulfur lake, so water is full of sulfur. So in the rainy season, almost every whole year is the rainy season in Indonesia, but in May, June, there's something different. This will look something different. Now crater lake is dried due to sun. The history of Kawah Putih dates back to ancient times when the area was formed by volcanic activity. Over the years, the crater has become a popular tourist destination, attracting visitors from around the world to marvel at its beauty and unique geological features. Apart from its aesthetic appeal, the water of Kawah Putih holds significant value due to high sulfur content. Sulfur is known for its medicinal properties and has been used for centuries in various traditional remedies.
So guys, we finished here, and you seen crater. Now my GoPro battery is 17%. If I get, and also my iPhone is full. If I get something different like this, you can see. If I get something different view, then I will share with you in. But I have now. What price?
Ya.
How much? Berapa? Berapa?
Itu udah rasa 500 loh. Genap 100.
Kata.
Boleh itu dicampur sama olahannya.
Manisannya.
2000 is cheap.
So you give the 50,000.
तो चुईडे का ये टी प्लांटेशन गार्डन आपको So guys, you can see this tea plantation. Can stop and go, and we can return from here.
Yeah, I'm
Of Chwede, after Kawa Putih, I get the opportunity to see this tea garden. So amazing. You can see
So now guys, it's 1 p.m. Now I will return back to my accommodation where I stay, and I have to take my clothes at 4
Nice.
from laundry.
nice tea.
So see you guys in the next video. I hope you like this video.
Like
And
tree.
if you like, then please like this video and comment and subscribe this channel.
So guys,
See you in the next.
ये था
Bye bye.
चुईडे का टी प्लांटेशन